Moving on to the most tested area, every time we are going to have one drafting para from SA 705. Let us understand it deeper now. So this question, first question. So this CA is a statutory auditor and the company is engaged in the business of manufacture of floor tiles. And during this year, they have got certain evidence and which is not consistent with whatever is given in the financial statement. So there are certain inconsistencies that they have found out. Alright. Now, as a CA, how will you deal with the current situation is a question. So SA 705 deals with the auditor's responsibility to issue an appropriate audit report in circumstances when informing an opinion in accordance with SA 700. Alright, so this is about giving that opinion. Clear? Fine. The decision regarding which type of modified opinion is appropriate depends upon the nature of the matter and the auditor's judgment about how it is pervasive, the pervasiveness of the effect and the possible effect on the matter. Okay, so firstly, he should modify his report. Okay, as per SA 705, he is going to modify the report. Clear. Now, when will he give a qualified opinion? When he has got sufficient appropriate audit evidence and he is telling that it is material but not pervasive. Okay, having obtained sufficient appropriate audit evidence, he is telling that it is material but not pervasive. And when we will give the adverse opinion, when having obtained the sufficient appropriate audit evidence, he is concluding that it is both the material and pervasive, then in that case we are going to give that adverse opinion. So similarly, next question also, but in addition to that we are going to see something what is a disclaimer of opinion. Disclaimer of opinion is that when the auditor is unable to obtain the sufficient appropriate audit evidence itself, that's such that the effect could be both material and pervasive. So the first two scenarios, qualified and adverse, he has obtained the appropriate audit evidence, but in the disclaimer of opinion he has not obtained the sufficient appropriate audit evidence, and he is telling that it could be both material and pervasive. Alright, now suppose if the management is imposing certain limitation, on the financial statement, then the auditor could request the management to remove such limitation. If they are not removing the limitation, then we should communicate with those charged with governance, or if at all it is possible to perform alternate, not additional, alternate audit procedures, then you can perform alternate audit procedures and get the evidences, get the appropriate audit evidences. Now we are going to the important crux of it. We are going to see how the drafting of the opinion paras are done. So we are going to see for qualified, adverse and disclaimer of opinion. So we are going to see three beautiful examples of drafting the para. So let us understand the situation first. So this is a company which is engaged in the manufacture of canes, and this statutory auditor, he found that the company has taken long-term funding for fixed capital requirement and short-term funding for working capital requirement. Okay. During the course of the audit, he found that the company's financial arrangement they are going to expire, and the company is unable to negotiate or get the other replacement for financing. So this is dire situation which is concerning about their liquidity. And the notes to accounts annexed in the financial statement discuss the magnitude of the financial arrangement, the expiration and the total financing arrangement. However, the financial statements do not include the discussion. So they are put into the notes, but in the financial statement it does not even reflect on what could be the impact. So okay, the going concern is going to be hampered in the case. Now, and they are also not in a position where they can go for refinancing. In the present case, XYZ is unable to renegotiate or obtain a replacement financing for its long-term and short-term funding requirements. So in this situation, what it is happening is that there is an indication that the material uncertainty with regard to the going concern could be hampered. So there's the existence of material uncertainty that may cause a significant doubt on the entity's ability to continue as a going concern. Clear? So what is to be done? So can we give an more unmodified opinion? No, definitely we'll have to give a modified opinion. So what kind of modified opinion we are going to give? So it is materially misstated and there is inadequate disclosure of the material uncertainty. So they have put it in the notes, okay, but they are not reflected in the financial statement. So we can tell there is only inadequate disclosure which is material but it is not pervasive. Alright, so it is material but not pervasive. So we will give a qualified opinion. So qualified opinion and basis of qualified opinion para, let us see and understand now. In our opinion and in the best of our information and according to the explanation given to us. So in our opinion and to the best of the information, in our opinion and to the best of the information and according to the explanation. So we have the information, we have the explanation, and so we are able to form an opinion. Except for the incomplete disclosure of the information referred to in the basis of qualified opinion section of our report, the aforesaid standalone financial statement give the information required by the Act in the manner so required and give a true and fair view in conformity with the accounting policies generally accepted in India of the state of affairs of XYZ and on the profit or loss for the year ended. Okay, so this is the opinion para. Now, basis for qualified opinion as discussed in note 6. The company's financing arrangement are about to expire. So whatever situation we will write, and the company is not able to go for renegotiation or they cannot obtain the replacement funding also. So in this situation we can tell that there is a material uncertainty which is existing and the financial statements do not adequately disclose this matter. Okay, not they do not adequately disclose this matter. So one more time we will read the opinion para. In our opinion, according to the information and explanation given to us, except for the incomplete disclosure, okay, incomplete disclosure referred to in the basis for qualified opinion section, the financial information is giving a true and fair view in conforming with the accounting policies accepted in India and of the state of affairs of XYZ and the profit and loss. So everything is fine like that. We are fine. This is about the qualified opinion. Moving to the next type of opinion. So we are going to see about the adverse opinion para. Let's see how it is drafted. Okay. So again, here also there is a doubt on the company's ability to continue as a going concern. Alright, but the point here is that they have not at all given any disclosure even in the financial statements or in the note. Okay, so they completely omitted the disclosure that is required to be given. So in this case we will be giving only an adverse opinion. Okay, let us see how it is drafted. In our opinion, okay, in our opinion, because of the omission mentioned in the basis of adverse opinion section, the accompanying financial statement do not present fairly the financial position of the entity and of its financial performance and its cash flow statement for the year. Clear? There what we wrote in qualified, in our opinion, on the basis of the information and explanation given to us, like that we wrote. But here, in our opinion, because of the omission, we are telling that the financial statements do not present fairly and of the financial position and the financial performance. The financial portion and the financial performance, it is not presented fairly in accordance with the accounting standards which is issued by ICAI. So what is the basis for that? Same thing. The financial arrangement has expired, the amount outstanding is payable, and the entity is not able to get any renegotiation or get any replacement financing. So both they are not able to give, and the financial statement do not adequately disclose the fact. Okay, so this is about the adverse opinion. Moving on to the para where we talk about the disclaimer of opinion. Okay, so when are we going to give a disclaimer of opinion? When we are not in a position to get any sufficient appropriate audit evidence that we are not able to get. So listen, so this is a power generating company which is having its plant in the northeastern state of the country. Okay, and the audit team was not able to give the sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Okay, so clearly we are not able to get any evidence. So about in here 90% of the entity's net worth, about that you're not able to get any audit evidence in this regard. So sufficient appropriate audit evidence, which is both material and pervasive. Let us see how we are going to see. Draft. So disclaimer of opinion. So what we do that in qualified opinion, in our opinion. Okay, that is in the qualified opinion. In adverse opinion, what you did, in our opinion. Okay, like that we wrote, and in our opinion we wrote. Here what they are telling, we do not express our opinion. So opinion itself I am not able to give. Okay, where in my opinion I will tell, so that word we will remove it. Okay, fine. So that is how this disclaimer para starts. So we do not express our opinion, disclaiming first itself on the accompanying financial statement because of the significance of the matter described in the disclaimer of opinion section. We have not been able to get any sufficient appropriate audit evidence to provide a basis for the audit opinion. Clear? We have not been able to get. And basis for disclaimer of opinion. So again we will tell the group's investment is having a net asset of so much, and it is covering about 90% of the company's net asset, and we have not been allowed by the management to get the details with regard to that, and kahani from the question we can write. So this is about the qualified opinion para. Now moving on to the next questions with regard to that. So when can we give a modification to the opinion, right? So on what basis the modification depends on. So we already seen this, just doing a revision. The nature of the matter. So is it a significant matter? Okay, right? The nature of the matter giving rise to the modification. Then the auditor's judgment about the pervasiveness. So it is a material and pervasive. So like that we are telling the nature of the matter and the auditor's judgment with regard to the pervasiveness. So both these things we should see. Then we can give a qualified or adverse opinion. So this is about some pointers with regard to drafting of para as per SA 705.